In Numbers chapter 11, verses 12 through 15, Moses is having an open and honest heart-to-heart conversation with God. He says, "Wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? And wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight? That thou layest the burden of all this people upon me. Have I conceived all this people? Have I begotten them? That thou shouldest say unto me, Carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the sucking child unto the land which thou swearest unto their fathers? Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, Give us flesh, that we may eat. I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand, if I have found favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness." Life has a way of unloading its fury on us. Seems like our home schedules, our work schedules, and our extracurricular schedules collide far too often. The responsibilities seem to be far too great. The strength and the energy seem to be far too low, and the feeling of frustration seems to elevate way too quickly. We find ourselves thinking thoughts like, I just can't do this anymore. Or I think I should just throw in the towel and quit. The fear of failure, however, may be the one thing that serves as the greatest obstacle in our confidence to move forward by faith into the task that God has prepared us for. It is during these times that God desires for us to cry out to Him from our heart. He wants us to be open and honest with Him about how we feel and about what we think. This doesn't upset God, nor does it surprise Him. God knows the thoughts and the intent of your heart. Notice the response that God gave Moses in verses 16 and 17. "And the Lord said unto Moses, Gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the Spirit which is upon thee, and will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone." God knew Moses' limitations before Moses did. And God knows your limitations before you do. As a matter of fact, God was already constructing a plan to aid Moses before Moses admitted to himself that he could not continue fulfilling his responsibilities alone, and God is doing the same thing for you. Moses needed some men who would stand with him and help him bear the great responsibility. The great thing is that God had already prepared the help that Moses needed. And now it was time for Moses to move forward in the provisions of God for the purpose that God had called him to. Friend, you were not designed to go through this life alone. So stop trying. God has been, He is, and He will continue to prepare you to be successful in your purpose. But He has placed you in the midst of family, in the midst of friends, and in the midst of a church who He is also working in to help you press forward. Stop fighting alone, and let's stand together and truly see what God can do.